Hi everybody, my name is Danielle Hudak and I welcome you to this series of nutrition food labels. And I'm excited I have some foods here and some labeling that I think will help you better understand what you're putting in your body. It is super important to know everything that you do ingest in your body is going to be and make a difference in how you feel, how you look, how your family feels, how your health continues in the long run. We know that everything that we do will either benefit us or make us decline, and it's your choice. And you have the ability to know exactly what you're putting in your body every single day. Almost everything has a food label now, with exceptions to some fruits, some vegetables, things like that that are fresh. They're not going to have a label, but there are plenty of resources that you can look up to find out what the nutritional value is of these products. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the new label and today, as well as the old label. The new label will be coming out and will be mandatory, I believe, by 2020. And some manufacturers have to do that a little sooner and some a little later, depending on how much sales they have and how big of revenue that they have. So you're going to start to see the labels change over time. So if you are confused when you look at the back of a label, you're not the only one. So many people, look at a label and they literally don't know where to start. So I did a little survey in my Facebook page, which is really cool, and I had a lot of response. I asked what was the first three things that people look at when they look at a label. And with astounding resilience, I was just, really blown away by some of the ones that people do look at, because I know what I look at and I know what I teach my patients to look at. But many people are really focusing on carbohydrates, which is absolutely something you should look at if you're looking at either diabetes, keeping your weight under control, just overall health. You want to kind of take a look at that number. A lot of people are really focused on protein. Protein is just a great staple in our diet. It keeps us full, it keeps us happy, it keeps our muscles strong. It does so much for our body. Of course, the healthier ones, the better. So people are really looking at that. Many people still look at calories, which is a great thing to look at. A lot of people worry a little bit about fat and sodiums, those that have high blood pressure or they're really concerned with that. So what I loved is those people that told me they look at the ingredients at the bottom. So the ingredients are super important when you're looking at a label. So let's just go through the label just real quick and some highlights and some points to kind of take away. First of all, look at your ingredients. If it has, a ton of ingredients, you do not understand what it says. Really, the less ingredients, the better if possible. So here I grabbed a bag of apples. Guess what the ingredients is for apples? Apples. So, apples are just going to be apples. So the less preservatives and the less things that are added to your foods. Now, if there's vitamins and minerals and all that good stuff, that's even better. But really, truly, let's just take a look at this. I grabbed this pasta. I grabbed this whole grain pasta. What's really cool about this one is it is non-GMO, which we don't want genetically modified ingredients in our foods. So if you can find a non-GMO label, that's always wonderful. Also, a whole grain is always good because you're getting the whole grain of any of the foods that you're eating, which is wonderful. It's not already broken down. Another thing is the ingredients in this is whole grain durum wheat flour contains wheat ingredients. That's it. That's the only thing in this. And it's just, a decent, it's going to have about the same amount of carbohydrates as the regular pasta, but you're going to get more nutrients from this. And the protein of this is 8. Carbohydrates are 39. But what I want to show you just a little something. This is a newer version of the food label, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but the calories, it's backwards, but the calories are now in larger print. What they're also going to start doing is on the new labels, they're going to start making the serving size more of what the population is eating. Instead of, a half a cup for ice cream, they're increasing it to 2/3 of a cup, because really, truly, a half cup is very, very small. And it's just going to be less calculations that we have to think through to make a better decision for ourselves and for our health. So when you're looking at a label, there are so many things to look at, and it's going to depend on who you are, what you're wanting. Are you really active? Do you exercise 5 days a week to 7 days a week? Are you sedentary, meaning that you aren't able to exercise or do much or expend much energy? All your nutritional needs are going to be so different than anyone else. So I would either say reach out to me to help you, reach out to your registered dietitian, to your physician, get some guidance from them, and really truly understand what your needs are and your children's needs, if you have children, what their needs are before you really start honing in on this a little bit. And I would say focus on certain things that you may not really need to focus on for your health needs. So I just want to tell you, I always look at fat is a great thing to look at, but we need fat to survive. So those low fats or no fat foods sometimes aren't the best thing for us. So taking it, weighing those options and comparing the products, it probably is going to be a better idea just to add some fat to it. Instead, a lot of times what happens if it's a lower fat or a fat-free, they've added sugar to the food to taste good. So we don't want extra sugar too. And one of the new things that I love, if you are looking at your label, is they are going to start putting down how much added sugar they're adding to the food. So if you look at carbohydrates, there are several drop downs on there. There is fiber, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, there's added sugars. So it's going to tell you what this company added to their food. The less added sugars, the better. Everybody's a little bit different, but we intake way too much sugar in our diet. So if you can get the lower added sugar, the better. So, if you're looking at a soda, it's pretty much all the sugar you need in a day in one soda. So really be careful with drinking regular soft drinks. I'm going to say if there's any way that you can eliminate those in your diet, I would absolutely recommend that. It's just not good for us. Increase obesity, heart disease, cancers, just all those things that we can completely, hopefully push off or avoid by just decreasing the sugar in our diet. So I'm just going to kind of go through a couple things. Cereals are a difficult choice for I know a lot of people. We always choose the organic most of the time, as well as the non-GMO cereals, and we try to keep it to a serving or two. Cereals can really add up in extra carbohydrates and then can add up in weight gain. So trying to keep it to a serving. And one thing I wanted to also let you guys know is the new labels, again, will help with that and help us kind of determine what the best serving for us would be, but it is dependent on what your nutritional needs are as well. So with this cereal, I'm just kind of looking down here, I'm seeing low fat. Carbohydrates aren't too bad if I keep it to the serving, and everybody's carbohydrates are different. But I like them. There are some vitamins and some minerals in here, so that's always good when you're looking at a cereal. It's just not a bunch of sugar and carbs. So looking at that, and there's maybe 10 ingredients. A lot of cereals you will have 30 ingredients in there, and they've added a bunch of stuff to it. So just be aware of that as well. Another thing I want you guys to look at, is the sodium content. This is a soup that I got, and the sodium of this for 1 cup is 680. It's a lot. It's 30% of the daily value. And let's talk about the daily value here. The daily value is an interesting, I think, way to share things. This is based off of a 2,000 calorie diet. Many of us are not on a 2,000 calorie diet. So if we added the percentages up to a 2,000 calorie diet, it may be too much of what we need. So just be cognizant of the percentages, but I like it because it can definitely help you with your nutrition, just kind of seeing, that gives me a lot of sodium. So if I get a lot of sodium in this, I have to really go lower the rest of my day. So it's not that you have to eliminate something like this, but just go lower the rest of the day if it is a higher sodium food. So that would be my suggestion there. I love that the new labels are doing something different. I'm going to pull this back up here again. If I can find my new one. Here's my new one. So the new label will have, maybe not, where's it at? There it is. Okay, so the new label, the vitamins that they're going to absolutely have on them now is sodium, the percentage of daily, fiber, vitamin D, potassium, and calcium, and I believe iron. So those will always be on the labels now. What they have found is we are deficient, most of us, in vitamin D and potassium, and that's really can help us prevent disease in the future. So I like that they are going to recommend those, and they've taken a couple others off that we're really not looking at any further for, and people just aren't having trouble getting that in their diet. So that is, there's so much out there. There's so much about the food label. And if you have questions, I would comment below and I will try to help answer those. But I think the main thing is looking at your label, looking at the serving size, and seeing if you can keep it to that serving size. You may need to go a little less, you may need to go a little more to get the nutrients that your body needs. So just remember, the serving size that says on the label is 1 serving for everything that's in here. So it means if you eat 1 of these apples, you're going to get this nutrition in your body. So a lot of people get confused with that. So that means if you eat 2, you have to double everything. If you eat half, you have to half everything. So that to me is, super important. I'm not going to give any numbers today on where you should be because, like I said, it's very individualistic. But I am excited about the new food label. I think it's going to be very helpful for us. You'll start to see that come out very soon. And I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope you got a little bit of information out there. And just remember, always compare some of the foods. Take time at the grocery to look at those labels before you put it in your cart. Prepare before you go to not be rushed. Really eat before you go to the grocery because then you're not going to want to grab everything that's, makes us really want to, eat it. So things that we crave a lot of times, especially when we're hungry, we're going to crave, really yucky foods that are not great for our body. So prepare, plan, and have a list before you go to the grocery. That is really important. And gosh, now that they have the grocery pickup, you can go ahead and order it. They'll have it at the door for you, bring it out to your car. You don't even have to step inside, which it may be a great tool for you if you have trouble grabbing things off the shelf that you did not intend to buy. So take my advice on that. That might be helpful. Also, when you're shopping the perimeter of the store is always a great thing. In the aisles is a lot of the box preserved foods that maybe aren't the healthiest. There are a few great aisles that will give you a lot of nutrition, but really the perimeter of the store is going to give you a lot of the nutrients and vitamins and minerals and, the main staples of food that we need. So I hope that helps you all. Please share, please like this. If it's something that you would like further, drop below what other topics you would love for me to discuss. I'm happy to do that, and I love helping others. So thank you all, and have a great day looking at your food labels. Bye.